friends. Welcome to another episode of the Get Healthy Makeover series. I'm Linda Curry, and I'm happy you are joining me today. We are going to talk about brain health. How important is this? As we get older, as everyone knows, there is an opportunity for our brains to collect more proteins and toxic waste. And so it's very important that we not only sleep well, as from previous episodes, you've learned that that's when these toxins get cleansed from our brain, but there are other things that we can do to nourish the brain connections so that we can have healthy brains and memories as we get older. So here's some precautionary things that we can do today to make sure that we don't get, let's say, inflexible in life. Subtle changes in the way you do things can actually maximize your brain's potential, reducing limitations and inflexibilities and feeling vibrant as you age. There's a book that I read that was really quite life-changing, and it is called Move Into Life: The 9 Essentials for Lifelong Vitality by Anat Benil. And it was really eye-opening, and I want to share with you some of the things that she shared in this book. First of all, you want to give your brain new information by doing things differently. We tend to get into a structure, a routine where we do things the same, and sure, we've lived so many years and we've become to know things and how to do things very efficiently, but it's not necessarily serving our brain, because we want to do things differently so we can build new brain connections and keep it active. And so one of the things we want to do is bring presence into all of your activities, whether you're brushing your teeth, whether you're cooking a meal, whether you're doing your work. Just try to make sure you are completely present in all those activities, but then find subtle changes that you can do. Sometimes if we have pain, or we're frustrated with something that isn't working out, sometimes just taking pause and taking a breath and becoming present will open up new opportunities and answers to you. And so you can actually force change in the way you do things. Like, let's take an example of how you brush your teeth. You probably are so comfortable doing it because you do it at least a couple times a day. And so you hold your toothbrush a certain way, you hold it with the same hand every day, you put the toothpaste on with the other hand probably, and you're in such a routine with it. I want you to take something like brushing your teeth and switch it up and see what happens. Use your non-dominant hand, perhaps. Um, maybe squeeze the toothpaste tube from a different way, or using different fingers to squeeze it. These are all just little subtle changes that actually makes you become more conscious and aware of what you're doing, and you're actually creating new brain connections when you do this. Another example, if you like to sweep off your patio, think about holding the broom lower with your hands, or holding them apart rather than together. Just try different variations, not because it's a more efficient way to do it, because it's probably not, but for the purpose of creating new brain connections. And you don't have to do this every time, but doing it once in a while will really open up these opportunities for your brain. One of the things I mentioned in a different episode was eating using my non-dominant hand. It not only slowed me down and made me more present with my eating, but this is something that can also help build more brain connections. So in your notebook this week, I want you to come up with some actions. Write them down, because if you write them down, you may not remember to do it when you're brushing your teeth this evening, but the next day when you look at your notebook, it may remind you to try it again the next day. So make sure you write things down so that you can remember to do them. Also, I want you to think about with brain health of turning the brain's learning switch on. So once we get a certain age, we kind of feel like we know things. We know how to do things efficiently. So I want you to have more of a child's mind. Stop thinking that you already know the best way to do things and just have that learning switch turned on. Be curious about things. This is where we create more brain connections. And we also become more flexible with life. And then I also want you to feel more and force less. So, if you're forcing a workout, for example, and maybe you're having some pain in one of your legs, or maybe you have sciatica, I want you to stop forcing your workouts and just do things more slowly and do them just slightly differently. Maybe you feel how your posture is, feel how your feet are touching the floor. Are you leaning more forward or back? And maybe you can make subtle adjustments that will make a big difference over time. One of the things I noticed is that I would get some upper to mid back tension in later in the day. And one of the things that I noticed I could do when I was working in the kitchen is if I have a mixing bowl, just pulling it towards me and mixing closer to me, or the cutting board, just pulling things closer to me. And instead of reaching all of the time. And it really made a big difference. And we don't notice these subtle changes that we can make unless we really slow down and become present with our daily activities. So, what can you do differently in your daily routine to add flexibility and improve your brain connections? And I do encourage you to check out that book because I learned so much, and hopefully, I have implemented a lot of the things the author talks about so that I can prepare to have a healthy brain today and beyond. Thanks for joining today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care.